Hey everyone, it's me. I'm just doing this video on International Bereaved Mother's Day. And if you don't know what that means that it's a day for those who have lost children to be honored. And the thing about that is that people forget. People forget that you are a mom. People forget that you forget about Bereaved Mother's Day, let alone on Mother's Day. Personally, I have to tell people to message me on Mother's Day. Otherwise, I feel just sad. I feel like I'm not, I am a mom, right? Like I delivered 3 beautiful babies, and yet I can't be honored the same way. I can't, I don't get the same things, right? Like, I don't get cute little cards. I don't get small gifts that they get at school. I don't get any of that stuff. So how do you go through Mother's Day knowing that you won't be getting any of this stuff, but somehow you're still a mother? How do people even honor you with that? Because honestly, one of the things that's even harder is that it is, at least on their days, people say, hey, how are you doing? On Mother's Day, people forget. People don't really realize that you also need acknowledgement that day. I've been asked the past couple times what I do to celebrate Mother's Day, and I don't really do anything specific because it's hard. It's hard because I'm not in the state where my children were born. I'm also not in the state where my family is. So it's hard to figure out what to do, what I want to do. I don't even know, honestly, how to be honored. How do you honor a mother who has no children right now? How do you do that? What do you say? Like, as the friends, I want them to say Happy Mother's Day and acknowledge that I'm a mother. But as the mother, I don't know what to do. And I don't know where to go. And I have nothing. You know? It's like I'm not even celebrated, honestly. And even though today, on International Bereaved Mother's Day, it's the one time we can feel like we're honored, how many people even remember what today is? How do you honor a bereaved mother? How do you do that? I've been struggling with this for 8 years. Right? Lily passed in 2011, then AJ in 2011, then Logan in 2012. And those whole times I've been struggling on what that looks like. Am I a mom? Am I not a mom? How do I honor them? But at the same time, how am I honoring myself? You know, like them not being here and me honoring Mother's Day is pretty much just, it seems selfish, honestly. It feels like I'm just being selfish to do something for me. You know, like it doesn't even make sense in my head. And I know single moms, like, I mean, if you think about it that way too, like their kids can't get them anything really sometimes, especially if they're really little. Like, I just don't, it's a struggle. You know, how do you fully comprehend that? The other thing that's tough is all the feelings that go with it, right? Am I a mother? Will people think that I'm a mother? Will people say anything to me? Will I be left alone, assuming that that's what I want? If my children were here, what would that look like? Things that are a struggle. And most of the time, I just have to pray about it because honestly, I don't know where else to go. I mean, what else do you say? Where else do you go except for to God? Because I got nothing. I think the thing that gets me the most now too is that I'm not even in a relationship. So it's not even like someone can tell me, like a spouse or significant other can tell me and do something for me in honor of Mother's Day to help me out. The past 6 years, the 6 years that I've been divorced, I've done all Mother's Day stuff on my own. Because no one else is going to do it for me. And then it reminds me how many other women out there who've lost stillborns or miscarriages and then their marriage just didn't work. Like, how do you provide for that? If you've lost a baby and you're a mother, no, if you've lost a baby, you are a mother. That's it. You carried that baby no matter how far, no matter how long, you are always a mother. And that's something that I sometimes forget. Because just because they're not here doesn't make me not a mother. But it's a struggle. And one of the biggest things sometimes is trying to figure out what you're going to do. And honestly, this year, I have no idea. There was one year that I set off balloons. There was one year that I planted lilies in front of my parents' house in honor of them. I took my mom out for Mother's Day, and then my sisters took me out. But now I'm in a new state, and I just don't know. So honestly, I'm coming to you because at this point, I have very little suggestions, and staying strong is hard, okay? Honestly, it's hard. It's one of the hardest things we have to do. And I don't know sometimes how to get through it, especially because I am alone. And I'm not saying I'm not alone with you guys. Like, we are all alone in our own experiences. But yeah. As a friend of a bereaved mother, please make sure you reach out. That's the best thing you could do, to do anything for them, even if it's a small card, even if it's just a phone call, even if it's just coming over. And I know that Mother's Day is not only hard for those who've lost children, it's also hard for those who've lost their moms. And with that, we're all in this together, honestly. Because, especially with us who've lost children, there's no one else who understands our pain. There's no one else who knows the feelings and the anxiety and the pressure. And sometimes it really gets to me. It gets to me because I don't have any children. And I don't have any children who that I can see the motherly love from. And I don't even have a spouse who can help me with that at this point. And so, yes, there are times I feel alone, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. But I want you to know that anything you do to honor your children is always there. And whatever it is you do to honor for Mother's Day, please just let me know, because I'm struggling. And this probably isn't the best platform to do it, considering it's called Staying Strong with Ashley, but we're not strong every day. Some days we're really a mess, other days we're totally fine, and I think that that's okay. I think people need to understand that just because it's been 8 years doesn't mean I don't struggle with Mother's Day or other things. I still go out and do my life. I still live and enjoy friends and do all those things, but that pain is still there. We never move on from it. No matter when people say move on, we are never moving on. We are just moving forward in a new light. And Mother's Day sometimes can really get people. And this year it gets me. So on International Bereaved Mother's Day, and for next week on Mother's Day, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to you. To you who lost children, to you who have children and lost them, to you who lost a mom, to you who just loves and wants children and is like a mom to someone. Happy Mother's Day to you, because there's nothing else that's more important than understanding how wonderful you are by the things you continue to do. And so again, if you have any suggestions on what to do for Mother's Day, if you happen to do something that really brightens your Mother's Day up, post it below. People want to know. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure other people would love to know what sort of things you do, especially if it's something different or whatever. Thanks again, and have a hopefully great week.